Before we proceed further with the development of the login application, we need to take a step back and understand an important concept in CSS called CSS box model. Okay, so what is CSS box model? All the elements in HTML can be considered as boxes. For example, there are several different elements in HTML like head, paragraph, div, which is division, image, and href, and a link. So link is specified by a tag. So these are the different tags in HTML. And if you see, all the different elements can be considered as boxes, and in CSS the term box model is used when talking about design and layout. Okay, so the CSS box model is essentially a box that wraps around every HTML element. Okay, so we were having our bootstrap application. Okay, let's go to this particular one, and if you see, this is an element, this is an element, this is an element, and each element is contained within a box. Okay, so what do I mean by that is that if you specify some content, okay, so for example you have a certain paragraph that you need to display, and the paragraph will actually be your content. Okay, and around that element, so this is the core element. Okay, either a paragraph, either an image, either a button, anything. Okay, so around that element you basically have something called as a border. Okay, so here you have what is called a border, and this border can be of any thickness. For example, it can be 5 pixels thick or 10 pixels thick, so it can be anything. Okay, so this is called as a border. Okay, and a border is nothing but a line. Okay, so it's a line around your content that basically separates the different HTML elements that are there in the page. Okay, and one more thing is that the space between your content and the border is nothing but your padding. Okay, so if you specify padding, what happens is that a space will be added between your content and the border. Okay, and there is one more concept called a margin. Okay, so this area, this outer area is the margin. Okay, so if you see, the content is an area, the padding is an area, the margin is an area, but the border is a line. Okay, which is basically wrapped around your content. Okay, so let me quickly color this up so that it's kind of easy to understand. So this entire area is padding, so this entire area, this stuff is called padding. Okay, so let me not override that. So this is padding. Okay, and this entire area is your content. Okay, and let me select another one. So this is the border. Okay, so the border is nothing but the line I said, right? And this entire area is nothing but your margin. Okay, so this is the CSS box model. Okay, so understanding this model is very important because it 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 manifests itself in several ways when you are coding an application. Okay, so for example, suppose that you are giving something like this, you are giving this particular div. Okay, I will use black. Okay, and I will use a small one. So this div, if you specify this div width, okay, width as probably 200 pixel, and if you say the border of this particular div as probably 20 pixel, and padding as another 20 pixel, and margin as another 20 pixel. Okay, the effective height and weight will be calculated, the effective height and weight. sorry, not weight, I mean the effective width and height of this particular div element will be calculated after this. Okay, so if you want to know what is the effective width, okay, so what is the total width is nothing but your content width, which is nothing but 200 pixel, and your width of the borders, which are on two sides, so you need to multiply border by 2, so basically it's 40. Okay, because you are calculating the total width, right, and the border is on two sides, and the padding is again on both the sides, so again another 40, and your margin is again on both the sides, so your margin is again 40. Okay, so such an element, if you specify it as 200, the actual width will be 40 40 40, will be 320. Okay, so rather than 200, which was your expectation of your width, the real width will be 320, and your content area may appear bigger than expected. Okay, and a similar way you can calculate the height as well. Okay, if you specify any height over here, you basically need to take that value, and you need to do 2 times of border, 2 times of padding, and 2 times of margin, and that will be your effective height that will be displayed in the area. Okay, so this is the this is all about CSS box model, which is a very important concept. I thought I will take one video specifically on this. So once we know that, and I will also show you how to identify the borders and margins, or rather the padding and the margin within the application as well, within using the Chrome Dev tools, that we will see in the next video tutorial. Okay, but for now, just know this CSS box model, it's very important, and I will meet you in the next video on continuing with our application. Thank you.